So we're getting ready for the men's Épée final. Once again, special thanks to all the folks here at Brandeis University. I tell you, this is a top-flight institution. For any of you people watching in the Northeast area, if you're watching in any place in the country, you've got the fine flavor of New England here. You're just literally 20 minutes from Boston. Waltham is a fine community, very low crime rate, accessible. You can, well, from Waltham, you can probably get to the Garden within 40 minutes, provided there are no Massachusetts drivers on the road. But it's very accessible. The campus is beautiful here.
Restaurants, John. Waltham has some of the best restaurants in this area.
Yeah, not only that, it's as far as the teaching goes here and in the professors here, it's extraordinary. The amount of high caliber doctors and professors that teach at this fine institution. So this is not a paid commercial advertisement, but this is one institution, if you're thinking about it, if you're getting out of school or if you're thinking about transferring from the school you're in. Check out Brandeis. They have a lot to offer.
Once again, for anyone who is interested in coming to the NCAA competition to see this live in person, the competition will be running tomorrow and Tuesday. That's Monday and Tuesday of this week. If you need directions, please dial 617-736-2000. Once again, that's 617-736-2000. And John and I hope to see you sometime soon.
Absolutely, Terrence. John Horrigan, joined by Terrence Gargiulo, who's joined us throughout this entire competition, and I tell you, your expert commentary has really made this worthwhile. Peter Boriskin, our camera person, who has also done camera from start to finish, Mr. Jack Malloy, Mr. Brian Covell, and Jeff Cohen. You can hear the Penn State cheer. They're getting ready. They want Ben Millett. As Winkmann is getting prepped. This is the gold medal bout.
Penn State is going to be loud and furious here, folks. Yesterday they won a gold medal. They are used to being in that gold medal spot. They really want it. Mr. Millett is firing up. You can see him saying yes. You can see himself psyching himself up, getting up that adrenaline. Like I said, John, Millett is a fighter. Mr. Winkmann is a little bit more of the cagey, smart, calm fencer, right? So this is going to be an interesting matchup.
Now, he finished 10th last year in the individual championship at 8-8, so he was ranked 10th coming into this event. Winkmann, as we said, a relatively unknown from Princeton, as he is getting, now we're having a problem here as they check out the equipment.
What's happening here, John, is the reel, and this is that tether or that line that attaches the fencer to the electronic box. They have changed the reel to a reel that is working better than the one that was there before. The fencer is now being hooked up, being attached to that tether line. The director is just checking to make sure that the equipment is correct, and the coaches are helping the fencer pick out a weapon and fasten himself into the equipment.
Yes, that we must tell you, folks, there is a leash law in fencing. But there used to be a kid in my neighborhood by the name of George Waters who was just feisty and too much sugar-coated cereal. Anyways, he one day bit the mailman, and they forced to put him on a clothesline with a running loop, a tether as such, so he couldn't run off and bite postal workers. My, now that I look in retrospect, that they should have let him off the tether. But boom.
Well, yeah, these tether lines keep us attached to the strip, but much better than that, John, they make it possible for those electronic lights to go off. Without those lights, folks, it would be impossible to tell who got hit. One of the reasons why we still wear white jackets is out of tradition, John. This sport used to have actually 5 officials, 4 judges, and then a president of the jury, which would be the judge these would be 4 judges that would stand on either end, who would be the eyes, who essentially would be what the electronic machine does today. They would determine whether a touch was made. They wore white, John, because they used to actually stick red dye on the tips of the weapons. They stuck red dye, kind of like blood, makes sense to me, red dye on the weapons, such that wearing the white jacket, John, they were able to tell by whether the red dye was on the jacket. If there was red dye on the jacket, the judge would come up, they would look at the white jacket, they'd say, there's the red dye, a valid touch had been scored. Now, thank God, because of the electronic machine, we don't need to rely on red dye.
How long have they been using the electronic equipment?
I think electric épée dates back to the early 60s. I think around 64, 65 they introduced electric épée, John.
Electric épée. It sounds like some sort of bar or a band, electric épée. So
I prefer the acoustic épée myself, actually.
Unplugged. So we're getting ready. Ben Millett on the left wearing number 587 from Penn State. On the right, Harald Winkmann from Princeton, number 597. We're underway. This is for the gold medal in the men's épée competition.
Just for our viewers, the two people standing at either end are what are called floor judges. For this gold medal match, it being an important match, we have judges that stand at either end of the strip, and they are the eyes to see if one of the fencers, by accident, hits the side of the strip.
You've just been told to quiet down. This is like a tennis match, almost. It's a gold medal match. Neither fencer has made any sort of contact. They're just standing like boxers, just walking around the ring, trying to feel each other out.
That's right.
Nerves of steel.
That's right. At the beginning part of the bout, they're trying to feel each other out. You'll see the fencers move up and down, push and pull, cat and mouse. They're trying to vie and jockey for a position on the strip to see who's going to be the aggressive one. This is really a psychological part of the bout, John, this beginning part of the bout.
Almost like a cycling race where it's not to your advantage to take the lead. They're just feeling each other out before it gets underway. This is the longest we've seen without a touch in any battle, and of course, it's the gold medal match. Once again, Winkmann from Princeton on your right, Millett from Penn State on your left. This is for the 1994 Men's Épée NCAA Championship in fencing.
They've fenced hard all day to get here. So at this point, they just want to take their time. They want to not make any careless mistakes. They want to force their opponent into making the first mistake. That's why you're seeing this careful fencing here at the beginning of this match.
And the winner will succeed Ben Atkins from Columbia as the men's Épée champion. Still, no touches, not even one lunge. Winkmann on the right, Millett on the left. Millett is like a caged tiger, even though Winkmann is literally the Princeton Tiger, because of the match against Rosenberg, where it stopped at 4-4, and due to the knee injury to Rosenberg. So again, I haven't seen this, Terrence. I mean, we've been here for 2 days, and I have not seen this long of a wait. Both fencers are very, very deliberate.
That's right, John. They are taking their time. They don't want to make a mistake. The beginning of the match sets a pace for the entire bout. If one fencer were to rush off and be a little bit too hasty, try to make a premature touch that they don't set up, it could give an advantage to the other fencer, make the other fencer feel very confident in the early going.
As I stated before, like two race cars drafting against each other. You make the first move. No, you make the first move. No, you do it. I'm not going. You do it. And they just want to feel each other out. Winkmann, as I said, the dark horse. Nobody expected him to be here. Both of these combatants had to go through teammates in order to get to the final round.
Now, I'd say Mr. Millett is not very natural with this sort of game. He is really a caged animal. He likes to be aggressive. He likes to come out hard and fast. Mr. Winkmann is, there we go. Folks, we had 3 minutes without a touch being scored. Mr. Millett kind of looks in dismay, can't believing that he actually went 3 minutes without scoring in aggressive action, but that was the case.
And the true fencing fan applauds with great delight, because that's good fencing when there's not a touch, when nobody's done anything. Even though in boxing you'd say there'd be stuff in the ring by now, but not in fencing. That just tells that the two fighters, the two fencers, are trying to feel they respect each other, but they want to see if they can find some sort of chink in the armor of the other opponent.
It really is a mind game, John. It doesn't look like anything's going on out there, but neither fencer. I'd say at this point, Mr. Millett is going to want to come out a little bit aggressive, because Mr. Winkmann's very comfortable in being that patient. So I think without rushing or being too hasty with any sort of aggressive action, Mr. Millett needs to start pressuring Mr. Winkmann. Otherwise, Mr. Winkmann will just take his time, and he'll score one touch in the course of 9 minutes and control the entire bout, John.
What about the style of the two swordsmen facing off? Millett, as you said, he thrives on the aggressiveness, and I'm sure that played on his patience in order to hold back like that. Winkmann, it seems, a little tentative. I don't think he realizes it hasn't hit him yet that he's in the gold medal final, that he didn't expect to go this far. Well, we're ready for the second round. Again, Ben Millett from Penn State on your left, wearing 587 on his mask. On your right is Harald Winkmann from Princeton. No touches scored in the first round.
That's right, no touches scored. We're here in the second 3-minute period. Mr. Winkmann is on your right from Princeton University, Ben Millett from Penn State University. So far we've had a very tentative match here, a match that has been one of mind, each fencer trying to feel the other one out. And let's see if Mr. Millett decides to become a little bit more aggressive in this period.
Winkmann has the bend in his épée closer to the bell guard, if you notice. And it seems that Millett's bend is ever so slight. In fact, there's just a slight exaggeration towards the end of his. And you can see now Millett trying to strut towards Winkmann. Winkmann cautiously approaches him. This is amazing. Not one touch. Just we had a few slight parries, a few slight lunges, but not one touch yet. This is like a 0-0 hockey game.
This is a 0-0 hockey game, or a lot like a soccer game where you just see the ball being passed back and forth among the players. Neither team able to get into any sort of scoring position. You know, John, it takes both fencers in order for a touch to be scored. In other words, one fencer has to either make a mistake or put themselves in a vulnerable position. Right now, neither one of these fencers is putting themselves in a vulnerable position. This is the gold medal match. Neither one of them wants to either make a mistake or perhaps even risk getting a touch.
That's right. Looks like they're fencing in a mirror, doesn't it? Right now, Winkmann backing off. Winkmann has the wider of the stance. He's got the height advantage as well, and I hazard a guess to say that he's probably got about an inch or 2 inch reach on Millett.
John, I remember watching the 1984 men's senior, this is not the collegiate, but the U.S. Senior National Championships, in which an entire 10 minutes went without a touch being scored for the national championship. And there was only one touch scored, and that was at the end of like 12 minutes.
Well, I figure it'll either go that way, or the first touch is just going to open up the floodgates, and there will be a barrage. You're going to see something out of an Errol Flynn movie in just a few moments. Now Winkmann trying to carry the fight to Millett.
A little surprised. I must admit that I'm surprised that Mr. Millett is being so patient. Perhaps Emmett Kaidanov, his coach, instructed him not to be too aggressive in the beginning of the bout, to wait for Mr. Winkmann to become impatient. But Mr. Winkmann is definitely comfortable in this patient position. Mr. Millett is not used to being this patient, but at the moment is doing a pretty superb job of just not taking any unnecessary risks. And there we go, folks. The second 3-minute period has elapsed without a score being touched. So the audience themselves are a little dismayed that essentially that these two guys haven't messed it up yet, haven't bloodied their noses up, haven't engaged in any mortal combat. But they're sooner or later, folks, they are going to have to get down and get dirty.
No fencer from Penn State has ever won the NCAA Fencing Championship in the Épée class. The last time somebody from Princeton won was in 1956. So you're going to see a lot of tradition being broken here. One of these fighters will go on and win the gold medal. So we've completed 2 rounds. And as you can tell by the volume of Terrence and my voice, we have to quiet down here because this is like a tennis match. This is like a golfer putting for par. You have to be quiet. You cannot distract the fencers.
There's a lot of concentration. Now, just let me inform the viewers as to what happens now. We are entering the third 3-minute period at the moment. There is no score in this match. They will fence for 2 minutes. At the end of 2 minutes, John, the scorekeeper will raise his hand indicating that 2 minutes have elapsed, and the fencers then will have 1 minute to fence. If at the end of that 1 minute the score is still tied or there hasn't been any touch scored, they will enter a sudden death of 1 minute.
The director for the fight?
Director is Sándor Kiss, also from Hungary.
So no score. We enter the third and final round, in theory, before we would have to go to a sudden death, literally. Millett is on the left, Winkmann on the right. Relatively no action, but we have gotten our fill here.
So each fencer now has got to be getting a little bit edgy. It's got to be wondering when are we going to actually mess it up? When are we going to actually try to go at each other a little bit? That's got to be first and foremost on Millett's mind right now because he's not used to being this patient. Mr. Winkmann is even getting a little deeper in his on guard. You can see that the fencers are becoming a little bit more tense. They might be ready, John, actually, to mix it up a little bit more now.
Have you ever been caught in, say, a quagmire of tentativeness like this?
I've never been caught in a quagmire of tentativeness, but I have, on occasion, had to employ a very patient strategy with an opponent and take my time. It's not my preferable way of fencing. I enjoy being aggressive and fencing the bout in a fast and furious fashion. However, sometimes it is the best choice, and obviously both coaches agree that this is the best way to approach the bout.
It looked as though Millett was going to make an advance on Winkmann. Time waning here in the third and final round. There is no score, no touches scored by either fencer. Millett being backed up. Winkmann trying to be the catalyst, trying to be the predator and make Millett the prey.
This is a really good thing. Mr. Winkmann has slowly worked Mr. Millett down at that end of the strip. That's going to make Mr. Millett feel anxious. Between having been patient for so long and now feeling a little cornered, it's kind of like an animal put in a corner. He's going to want to come out and maybe make an action which is a little bit too aggressive. Okay, there we go, folks. 2 minutes have elapsed in the third period. 1 minute remains. There's still no score. They will fence for another minute.
So for 1 minute at that time, what happens if there aren't any touches? You mentioned about how Winkmann, though, forced Millett into his corner to cause him to make a bad move.
That's right. What we're going to watch now is Mr. Winkmann slowly try to keep Mr. Millett in at his end of the strip, hoping that Mr. Millett becomes impatient and launches an attack. Launches an attack from out of distance or launches an attack which is not well timed, making it easy for Mr. Winkmann to score a touch. Mr. Millett is now trying to push Mr. Winkmann back towards his end of the strip so that he doesn't feel cornered. He knows that Mr. Winkmann is probably trying to make him feel trapped or cornered.
And you can see that the two fencers are getting a little more hyped up in this. They know this is it. This is sudden death.
Well, the gold medal is on the line, and they know sooner or later they're going to actually have to score a touch.
Winkmann just missed with a touch there. Just barely won the gold medal there had he connected.
Yeah, this is a real dangerous time because now there's a minute left. So if a touch is scored with just a few seconds left on the clock, it's going to be hard for either one of the fencers to score a touch if there's very little time left. Oh, and there we go. We're in sudden death, folks. We're in sudden death. We win an entire 9 minutes, folks, without a single touch being scored.
What was the instance that you referred to when I asked you earlier? You said that there was...
That's right. In fact, back in 1984 at the U.S. Senior National Championships, the bout between George Mason, actually, who has been here. He has been working that table that we showed you earlier in the day. He's one of the people. There you can hear the facts. Everybody's getting hyped up. They want to see some action here now.
Tell you, this is Gunfight at OK Corral, the Earp Brothers versus the Clanton Gang. Here it is, sudden death. One touch, and you win the gold medal. The loser goes home with a silver. Here we go.
Here we go. So let's see what's going to happen here now. Again, I would have to favor at this point Mr. Winkmann, who's been so patient. I think perhaps Mr. Millett is going to show some maturity here and not rush in. But I have a...
Winkmann's altered his crouch, though, somewhat. His stance is a little shorter, a little wider in the feet.
Yeah, you can see that he's real ready. He actually made the first real aggressive action just a minute ago there with that big lunge. What he's trying to do, John, is probably hype up Mr. Millett, make Mr. Millett get real excited and start to get aggressive. And you can see it's beginning to have an effect. They're both moving a little faster, a little harder. The pace has pickened up a little bit, and Mr. Winkmann.
Wow, unbelievable. Millett looks like he like you said, he's trying to get in there. He wants to finish this thing off.
Oh, Mr. Winkmann, after over 9 minutes, scores the final touch, winning the gold medal. Mr. Millett has to feel, oh, what a disappointment. And Mr. Winkmann giving him a playful tap on the cheek. Oh, and Mr. Millett screaming, and that really had to have been tough. Oh, what a match. What a match.
Folks, fencing at its best. Harald Winkmann from Princeton in overtime defeats Ben Millett from Penn State in a thrilling men's épée final. Winkmann, didn't I call it, huh? For a novice, not bad. I said this guy's a dark horse. We didn't pay attention to this guy. I was watching him. He was patient. I noticed him when he was dueling with his teammate. His teammate was
was really doing a job on him. We referred back to this match. We came back over, and he had the lead. He can turn a match around. You mentioned the word, I think, that exemplifies what just went on here. You said the word patience, and I think that's what Winkmann displayed. He knew that Millett's game plan, we were talking about game plans, that he's an aggressive guy. I'm going to lure him out of his hole and do him, and he did him.
You did him, John. You called that one really well, and that's certainly what Mr. Winkmann did incredibly well at the end of that bout. He used his patience. He used everything to the advantage. Princeton's got to be proud of this boy. They haven't had a gold medalist in the men's individual level since 1956, folks. Here we are at the NCAA Championships, men's individual championships, with Mr. Winkmann, the gold medalist. Congratulations to him and to Princeton University.
Oh, yeah, Princeton has to be proud. Oh, he's done himself proud here. Harald Winkmann from Princeton, relative dark horse. Ben Millett, as we said, from Penn State, finished 10th last year. Even now you see Motter coming over and congratulating them. But what an exciting, exhilarating bout. You're going to say, well, nothing happened in that bout. That's why it was so great. That's what made it a classic men's Épée gold medal bout. Nobody did a thing. It was cat and mouse. They were just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And then when they were finished waiting, they waited some more. Finally, it was Winkmann who lured out the mouse that was Millett out of the hole and grabbed him.
That's right, John. That's right. And Mr. Winkmann has to feel pretty good about what he's done, how he fenced that bout. I think his bout with Ensign was exemplary, and he just improved upon everything that he did in the bout with David Ensign earlier on in the top four, and used it completely to his advantage against his opponent, Mr. Millett.
Absolutely sparkling performance, though, by all of the fencers here tonight. So, what an exciting, entertaining bout we had there as Harald Winkmann defeats Ben Millett. Penn State, believe it or not, lost a bout here tonight. And they're such a powerhouse. That does not happen with that institution.
No, it doesn't. And but they'll have to settle for the silver medal, and we'll see them again tomorrow.
So, the team results after 3 days. And there's Brian Koval. He's going to let you know who's doing what.
27th place, Vassar with 4 points.
Vassar in 27th.
26th place, Wayne State.
Wayne State, surprisingly, a low finish, 26th.
CSU Long Beach, 17.
California State, Long Beach.
24th place, MIT with 25.
The Engineers, low.
3rd place, Northwestern University with 27. 22nd place, University of Chicago with 28. 21st place, William & Mary with 30. 20th place, UC San Diego with 31. 19th place, Caltech, 37 points. 18, Rutgers with 42. 17th place, University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill with 123. 16th place, Michigan State University with 250. 15th place, Yale University with 284. 14th place, Stanford University with 333. 13th place, UC Santa Cruz with 350. 12th place, The Ohio State University with 454. 11th place, Columbia University with 550. 10th place, Princeton University, 585. 9th place, Brandeis University, 600.
Brandeis cracks the top 10, Terrence.
Brandeis is in the top 10, and I think the only other year that I know of that they did that was my junior or sophomore year, John, in which we were also 9th.
6th place, Harvard University, 103.
New England faring well, getting 2 schools in the top 10. Fairleigh Dickinson with another strong performance. St. John's finishes 4th. This is after 3 days of competition.
3rd place, University of Pennsylvania, 2013.
I'm going to say Notre Dame's number 2 and Penn State number 1.
University of Notre Dame.
Yep. And Penn State is number 1, Terrence.
Yep, that's right. They're going to be really hard to beat, John. I really think that they probably have the overall team championship tied up, probably even at this point.
And tonight, Pete, we're winding down. This is the women's individual foil.
the favorites, of course, are Olga Cherniak and Olga Kalinovskaya of Penn State. Now, when Terrence asked Olga Kalinovskaya who was her biggest competitor in most of her competition, she said, "I don't have any competition. I'm going to win anyway." And those are words from the heart of a champion. When you have that much confidence and you're going to go in and you know that the only person in your way is your teammate and fellow expatriate Olga Cherniak.
Well, it's going to be a tough competition whether she believes it or not. But to say about her mindset, you have to think if there is no possibility to win, then you have to win. So in order to be in a winning mindset, you have to assume that you are going to win.
Okay, we got a chance to look at these in the team foil competition. Penn State dominated the event, Notre Dame second. Is that a good barometer for the individuals, the way that they fenced, even though they only go up to 5 touches in the team? Is that a good barometer to say how they will perform as individuals?
It's tough. Limiting the bout to only 5 touches allows for a little more random, a little more chance. The more touches you have, the better the distribution is. As we saw in yesterday's bout, where it went down to 1 touch at the very end of the Épée bout, it could be total chance. You could have a complete neophyte against the best fencer in the world, and chance allows for that 1 touch.
Aha. So in other words, if you're a boxer and you have the stamina, you'd rather have a 10-round fight as opposed to like a 3-round where anything could happen.
Certainly, certainly.
Okay, now let's look at the sport itself. Women, as we have mentioned previously, they're only allowed to participate in a competitive level in the foil. Why is that, and do you foresee that as going by the wayside?
Well, I'll have to say that originally it was an all-male-dominated sport, and over the years, women have come into foil in a very big way, as you can see here today. And right now, there are a lot of women in saber and in épée, but not fencing at the NCAA level. I definitely foresee in the future that women will be in the foil, épée, and saber weapons.
So we're down to the final 8. The best 8 women fencers in the free world, we can say, are here to participate in the 1994 NCAA Fencing Championships. And we'll return with those matches right after this. So, well, Terrence, just an outstanding day of fencing, a long one. We're still not over. This obviously continues tomorrow as we go to the individual foil competition for the men.
I think tomorrow, actually, we're going to see individual women's foil competition, John. Men's individual was the other day. We saw Kwame Van Leeuwen, actually from Harvard University, winning that championship. I believe there's also a men's saber team, if I'm not mistaken. Tomorrow should be real exciting. We saw the men's individual saber yesterday. Tomorrow we'll see the team saber. Today was an excellent competition, and we saw some great fencing. And once again, we'd encourage everyone, if they can, to come by here to the Waltham or to the Brandeis University in the Gosman Center. We're located here at Brandeis University.
Yep, very good. So, for my executive producer, Jack Malloy, for all the folks here at Brandeis University who have helped us out, for Terrence Gargiulo, for my director, Peter Boriskin, and for Mike Mayer, who stopped by, I'm John Horrigan saying so long, everybody. We'll catch you down the road as you're watching the 1994 NCAA Fencing Championships on ABT. On guard.
On guard. Let's go.